Welcome to Tesla Politics. Today we will be talking about the Model Y recalls, Quebec as a possible location for the next Gigafactory, Canada and Mexico's objection to the EV tax credits, India's decision on EVs, and the update on Tesla's Cybertruck. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration (NHTSA) has announced that Tesla is recalling 826 Model Y crossovers in order to fix a potentially dangerous suspension defect. According to NHTSA, there is a risk that the affected vehicle's front suspension knuckle may fracture and cause the suspension links to separate, and it can definitely lead to a crash, especially if it happens at a higher speed or when the vehicle is going around a corner. We don't know which vehicles are affected or why so few are being recalled, given the fact that the defect is apparently present in vehicles with model years ranging from 2020 to 2022, manufactured between June 16, 2020 and November 10, 2021. The recall population includes select Model Y vehicles and was determined based upon a review of manufacturing and service records from Tesla and the supplier. The front and rear suspension links on Model Y vehicles are attached to the knuckles. The knuckles may not have been manufactured to the correct strength specification, which may cause the knuckle to deform or fracture and may lead to the suspension links to separate from the knuckle. During the supplier's manufacture of the knuckles, the quench tank fluid level may not have been sufficient to fully quench the knuckles during the heat treatment process. If the knuckle deforms or fractures such that the suspension links separate from the knuckle, abnormal noise or handling may occur, which may be detected by the driver. Tesla also recently recalled some 2,800 vehicles for another suspension-related issue, namely the fact that the front left lateral suspension link may come loose from the vehicle, and it affects Model 3s built between 2019 and 2021, as well as the Model Ys built from 2020 through 2021. In other news, according to a statement from China's Administration for Market Regulation, Tesla Shanghai filed a recall plan for 21,599 Model Y EVs manufactured in the country. The automaker cited issues pertaining to the strength of the front and rear steering knuckles, stating they may not meet the automaker's design requirements. Just last week, we reported that Tesla had begun deliveries of the performance Model Y in China, joining the popular standard range version, which was recently renamed the rear-wheel drive Model Y. That version is currently sold out throughout 2021. Sales of Model Ys built at Giga Shanghai have continued, despite price increases on all Tesla models due to supply chain bottlenecks. It now seems, however, that some Model Ys that saw production in China throughout 2021 are being recalled. CNEV Post broke the news out of China following a statement from China's SAMR website. The release states that a few days ago, Tesla Shanghai filed a recall for Model Y EVs built in China between February 4th and October 30th, 2021. 21,599 to be exact. For some vehicles within the scope of this recall, due to supply manufacturing reasons, the strength of the front and rear steering knuckles may not meet the design requirements. The steering knuckle may be deformed or broken during the use of the vehicle, and the suspension link may fall out of the steering knuckle under extreme stress conditions, which affects the driving control of the vehicle, increases the risk of collision accidents, and poses safety hazards. The SAMR follows up by saying Tesla Shanghai will inspect the front and rear steering knuckles of Model Ys produced between those dates free of charge, and replace any components that do not meet the design requirements that ensure passenger safety. Tesla China has stated that Model Y owners should drive carefully and seek a service center as soon as possible. The report states that Tesla plans to notify affected Model Y owners in China through registered mail, email, and other mode of communications. The Tesla Service Center in China will also be contacting Model Y owners to arrange recall repairs. Speculation continually buzzes around the world about the possible locations of Tesla's next gigafactories. Why not Quebec? The Canadian province is arguably an ideal location for large-scale battery production, and its government has enacted a number of EV-friendly measures. Quebec is rich in critical battery metals and has plenty of cheap and clean hydropower. The provincial government is heavily incentivizing the extraction of key minerals such as lithium, nickel, and graphite, and recently has announced plans to invest up to 300 billion Canadian dollars in battery production. Lion Electric is planning to build a 5 gigawatt battery factory in Quebec, and companies including Nemaska Lithium and Nouveau Monde Graphite have launched products to produce and refine graphite and lithium. Electrek has reported that the Quebec government is in talks with Tesla about possibly establishing battery production in the province. Tesla has already indirectly invested in Quebec's lithium resources through a deal with Piedmont Lithium, which is involved in a lithium project in Quebec's Abitibi region. Quebec Economic Minister Pierre Fitzgibbon met with Tesla executives during a mission in California last month. They discussed Quebec's place in Tesla's supply chain. A spokesperson told Electrek. Le Journal de Montreal reported that talks have been moving forward over the last few months. Is Tesla just looking for lithium, or might Quebec be the site for the next gigafactory? No details are on offer at this point. As reported by Automotive News, Reuters got its hands on a letter sent from Canada to the US that warns about the potential negative impacts of proposed US EV tax credits. The US government plans to offer a new tax credit for cars built in America, but there's a catch. Canada's Trade Minister Meringue said that if the new EV tax credit is approved, it may hurt the North American automotive industry as a whole, but arguably more problematic, it may breach trade agreements. In the letter, the minister went so far as to say that the change could end up costing tens of thousands of jobs in Canada, which could lead to major economic fallout. However, even more interesting is that the minister said that the credit will also cause fallout in the States. The US House wants to up the EV tax credit to as much as $12,500 per car. Though $4,500 of the credit would only be for electric cars built in the US by a unionized factory, the proposal will also include $500 for battery produced in the US. Rather than working to promote EV adoption as a whole and do everything in its power to help curb climate change, the US administration is focusing on credits that will mostly benefit the big three and leave other automakers behind. Of course, the UAW is pushing hard for the credit to pass. Meanwhile, foreign automakers that make cars for the US market, as well as companies like Tesla, are opposed to the union focus proposal. The minister shared that she's not happy about the proposed EV tax credit's protectionism elements, which discriminate against EVs and parts that are made in Canada. She said Canada is the only country in the Western Hemisphere with the materials required to produce electric car batteries. She also mentioned that Canada is also necessary for the US to achieve its EV objectives in the future. The minister says that if the US EV tax credit passes, it will work to undermine the North American car industry's integrated nature. The US and Canada work together when it comes to cars, and the new credit will cause issues with the partnership. In other news, the $12,500 electric vehicle tax credit proposed in President Biden's Build Back Better plan is being labeled as discriminatory by the Mexican economic minister, who said the country is analyzing legal recourse and other actions, including potential tariffs against the United States. The minister claims the EV tax credit is totally contrary to free trade, especially as the rebate includes if the vehicle is built in the United States and equips a US-produced EV battery. Is detrimental to the country's automotive exports. The minister said that the effect on our auto exports would have a very large impact on this sector that creates a lot of jobs and could even generate additional migratory pressures. The United States has used an EV rebate for years in the amount of $7,500. This credit applies to any electric vehicle that is manufactured by a company that has sold less than 200,000 units, meaning Tesla and GM vehicles do not qualify for the rebate. The primary differences between the old credit and the new one are the amount of the rebate, its potential to be refundable, and the positive effects it could have on American manufacturing. It seems that the minister is not in favor of taking large-scale recourse on international trade, especially as global supply chain issues continue to plague the automotive industry. She stated that it was not a desirable course of action, but stated that Mexico will do anything in its power to support its automotive industry. Reuters says that Mexico's automotive sector employs around 1 million people. It is not the first time entities have spoken up regarding their discontent with the new EV incentives. In October, the European Union, Germany, Canada, Japan, Mexico, France, South Korea, Italy, Poland, Sweden, Spain, Austria, Netherlands, Belgium, Cyprus, Ireland, Malta, Finland, Romania, and Greece argued to US lawmakers that the tax credit violated federal trade rules by limiting eligibility for the credit to vehicles based on their US domestic assembly and local content. The countries also stated the credit is inconsistent with US commitments made under World Trade Organization multilateral agreements. The tax credit was passed within the Build Back Better plan by the House of Representatives in November. Next, it moves to the Senate. After months of lobbying by Tesla and other EV automakers, India is preparing to make a decision on whether or not to lower import tax duties on EVs. The import taxes would be lowered on the premise that Tesla would then set up a manufacturing facility in the country. According to a report by the Economic Times, the proposal is currently before the representative government ministries, but the ultimate decision will be made by the Ministry of Finance's Revenue Department. While some in the government want Tesla to assemble partially built cars in the country as part of the deal to reduce import duties, the automaker has said this is not possible. Instead, the government is reportedly considering a temporary 3-year reduction to import duties. In return, Tesla must provide concrete business plans on how it intends to set up a manufacturing presence in the country. Under the current rules, the Indian government levies an import duty of 60% for EVs costing $40,000 or less, while for vehicles over $40,000 the levy is 100%. Tesla CEO Elon Musk confirmed that the all-electric Cybertruck will have a quad-motor variant, which will take production priority at Gigafactory Texas when manufacturing begins. Musk also stated that, thanks to the Cybertruck's front and rear wheel drive modes, the pickup will be able to move diagonally like a crab. Tesla's Cybertruck was unveiled in 2019 and was supposed to have 3 powertrain options for purchase: a single, dual and tri-motor. However, after 1.2 million pre-orders for the Cybertruck had been accumulated, Tesla essentially shut down the Cybertruck's online configurator, giving the impression that major changes were to come for the all-electric pickup. Evidently, rumors started to swirl that Tesla would scrap the single-motor variant in favor of a quad-motor powertrain, which would join the dual and tri-motor setups Tesla already is offering. There is no evidence currently that Tesla will completely ditch the single-motor powertrain, but it had the least amount of reservations on the online pre-order tracker. It appears the quad-motor Cybertruck will have 4 independently controlled motors attached to each wheel. This increases the Cybertruck's performance in off-road settings and or when confronted with challenging terrain. It increases torque vectoring and response, which makes the vehicle more confident when it is traveling over tough road conditions. Musk also stated that the front and rear wheel steering capabilities will enable diagonal driving like a crab. After Tesla shut down the configuration options on the Cybertruck Design Studio, most knew that changes were likely on the way. Tesla could launch the Cybertruck as soon as December 2022, but some have speculated that with Tesla's offloading of Cybertruck-inspired merchandise in its online shop, that the Cybertruck could be coming to the market sooner than anticipated. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and to subscribe. And now for a bit of fun.